Hello, everybody. All right, 2025, and it is season 5, episode 1, Green Effect podcast. I brought a friend for this one. I know I've been busy on social media, but this episode, I found a friend. Scott Shea, what is going on, buddy?
Hey, Mr. Green, good to see you.
Yeah, you too, man. So Scott is an incredible real estate agent. He's with Red and White Realty, and I've wanted to have him on for a while. And this is true. I'm not making this up. I actually wanted you on this for a while. Like we're going back Christmas 2022, 2023,
Yeah,
sitting
buddy. Yep.
together at a Christmas party. I'm like, are you going on? Come on. Finally, after like 8 emails, threats, the whole bit. All right. I even talked to his wife one time about this. All right. He's here. He's arrived. So, Scott, pretty momentous occasion. I waited for season 5, episode 1. So you should
Thank you,
be
Stephen.
like just doing cartwheels, bud.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
All right. Well, listen, let's talk a little bit about your journey.
Yeah.
So, I know you from different levels, and I think you're one hell of a hardworking guy. You got a lot of things that you're up to, and I love what you're doing with your brand and the service level you offer your clients. So, tell us a little bit about what you're up to. What's the kind of unique stuff that I'm alluding to around
Yeah.
your actual business that's making you stand out right now?
Sure. My most basic standout thing is I call myself a right sizing expert. Some people focus on first time home buyers, some people focus on downsizing. Um, I like right sizing because one, downsizing kind of sounds like downgrading, and the services I offer are also relevant to say first time home buyers or growing families. Um, so myself, my business partner Jason, we run a team called Navigate Realty Co. What kind of sticks out is that we're trying to cover everything. Stephen, there's no like the numbers in real estate. Like real estate agents, we're paid a fair amount of money, and Jason and I found um, we found there was a serious lack in the gap in the service that was being provided. Um, I'm just going to deep dive. So Jason and I,
Yeah.
we know each other because our wives are teachers, and we had kids like very close time, and they introduced us. And I always tell my wife, please introduce me to non-real estate people. you know,
Just so you can have like normal conversations with
right,
people. Yeah.
right. But anyway, she introduced me to him, and our values really aligned. He had just downsized a senior, and I had just downsized an individual with special needs. And what was different from us was we covered their move, which was very unique.
Yeah.
We packed them, we moved them, and that was all on our dime. We
Wow.
basically, our goal is to make it as easy as possible. So whether it's a senior or like a family, I like to tell people, go to the cottage, come back, and your socks and your underwear are in your drawer in your new house, right?
So many liability issues.
Yeah, there is. There is. I'll talk more about that too, because now we started a moving company too. So
Oh,
there is
no
a lot of
way.
liability. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So okay, so you're saying okay, I see you online on social media, right? And I'm like,
Mhm.
guy's moving boxes, man. What
Yeah.
how did this I know where it came about, relative to the service level and stuff like
Mhm.
that. How has it been received? Like
Awesome.
how have people viewed it?
Oh, awesome. Even
Yeah.
even before we started the moving company, the movers we had liked because we were actually there on the moves. I like to use the example too of like, say we're moving a senior.
Yeah.
Actually, one gal in particular recently, you know, we were dealing more with the family side. I would say our ideal client is adult children of seniors.
Okay.
Um, she was having a hard time letting things go. And instead of, say, them hiring some Tom, Dick, and Harry mover who's just going to smell like cigarettes and booze and move in their stuff and just push grandma out of the way, I was able to have those conversations with her about being able to let things go. But also on the same side, do it dignified and explain to the family why it's hard to let these things go. This is going to sound really hokey, but we call like I almost feel like I'm reading out of like a Hallmark card. But but basically your house is the museum of your life. So that coffee table that's god awful with, coffee cup stains, like that's the same coffee table that like I have memories of you as a child walking around.
Yeah.
It's hard to let that go.
It's funny you say that because so we're empty nesters. Our kids are out, and it's believe me, Like, believe the hype. It is amazing. You're like 20 years away from that, but I'm telling you, there is light at the end of the tunnel. All right.
Please.
So yeah, it's there. You guys, it's one hell of a marathon, but it's there. And we got a lot of crap. Like a
Dude,
lot of
dude,
crap.
don't get me
And
fired up, man. I married a teacher.
it's true.
If you want
It's
a pipe cleaner, tell me what color. I got it.
That's right. Oh man. And we've kind of started a little bit trying to get rid of it because it's
Oh my God.
junk, right? But
It is junk.
people struggle with that. I mean, there's probably a condition
Oh
known
yeah.
as something around that, right? Like, I mean, you
Oh
must
yeah.
see that challenge with your clients.
Oh, definitely. It's like just stuff. Like one gal recent, like even packing can sometimes be trouble. Like we just moved a gal into was it a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago, we moved her into a nursing home in Mississauga, and she had lots of stuff. She's going from a one plus den apartment to like a one bed apartment, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that one plus den was full,
Wow.
right? And it's kind of assisted living, so she doesn't need kitchen stuff, but she's still packing her baking dishes and her this, her that. We're packing stuff up, and every 2 seconds, can this a little alarm clock? Can this go in a box? Is it going to start a fire? And like God bless her soul, like I was able to every time answer her and not be snide about it, and just be like, and it's okay. Thanks for asking, but yeah, it's fine. I promise.
Yeah. And do you find there's a lot now, the term right size, I've used that term before.
Hmm.
We're coming out of a time of 1 point nothing percent interest rates. You can afford whatever the heck you want, right?
Yeah.
Well, now we got to be kind of a little bit smarter about this whole thing, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
are you finding more and more there is that kind of, we don't need this massive mansion. We can really do with 3 bedrooms, half the price. Are you seeing that from clients right
Oh,
now?
of course, of course. Another comment I hear quite often is, I can't afford to downsize. There's people who've been in their houses since 1970, 1980, or well, yeah, let's go 1990 even. They bought this house and it's a two-story and they don't need it. But everyone, I always hear, I just want a little wartime bungalow. I just want a little wartime bungalow. Bungalows are such a premium. If someone says they
They're
want a bungalow, I'm like,
expensive.
just add a
They're
hundred thousand to
expensive.
whatever you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's options out there, and we'll talk maybe about them, because there's a lot of options out there that agents either don't like touching because it's a lot of paperwork, or maybe they're not aware of.
All right, you
But
fill me in. Let's go. Let's do it.
yeah, for sure. The biggest one I like to always inform people on is life lease communities, 55 plus communities.
Hmm.
Like I can sell someone a 50, because remember Stephen, they're downsizing. They have a large sum of equity. They're going to sell their two-story dated home for 800,000 in KW. And they can buy a renovated seniors built bungalow with a finished basement for 400,000 or 500 if it's a little nicer. It's not a trailer park. It's a house, 2 bedroom, nice. It's in the country. And then they got $400,000 worth of equity left from selling their original house to do whatever.
There's something to be said for take living within your means,
Hmm?
living in the right size house, but then if you've got all that extra equity, and people forget this part, RSPs weren't really a thing until the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
So that generation, they pay off the mortgage as fast as you can. That's all they
Mm.
did. They didn't
Yeah.
say they saved, but they didn't use RSPs. Their RSP was the bricks and mortar, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we've had so many issues in Canada with baby boomers not kind of passing down wealth because
Mhm.
their freaking house is going up and down in value. But that's valid. There's something to be said for like enjoy your freaking life. Like you worked
Yeah.
for it,
Live,
right?
honestly,
Yeah,
live your life.
yeah.
Like I have that conversation a lot, even because I do a little bit of commercial too, very little. I haven't really talked to you about much about that, but I do a little commercial. And there's a gal, and I can't go into particulars about it, but she owns a rather successful business, and she's a young cat. She's maybe 50. But she's very active. She likes to go snowshoeing. She likes to travel. Before she got into this business, she was like living in like, I don't know, like Peru or something on a boat. And I'm like, you have this asset that's worth like millions. Like, I know it's hard for you to let go, but like you can live your life. Because she kept talking about how she's slaving away day in, day out. Like she lives close to it. She's always there. Like, live. Or you can sell it and see your kids enjoy the wealth. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a child of a boomer, and I was able to get some financial help from my parents because they realized like they're pensioners and they have a good pension. They don't need just to keep building wealth. They need to be setting us up for success.
Seriously, share the
Thousands of
wealth,
dollars now
right?
means a lot
Yeah.
more to me as a new dad than it
Yeah.
does, and hopefully, mom and dad, if you're listening, like 50 years from now when you pass away, it means more now than then.
Yeah. But and that's the thing that they're living, baby boomers are living longer,
Yeah.
right? They've got the wealth, and you know, I see it a lot. Actually, I just did a social media video about this today where it's kind of humorous, where it's like, hey, if you're a baby boomer or even Gen X, you got kids with failure to launch, we can help with that, right? Like there's solutions. Gift them some down payment.
Yeah.
And this is the one thing that we got to remember. I'm Gen X, okay? I know there's this sentiment, well,
Which
you know
one's
what?
that? That one's,
So Gen X is like late 30s to like early 50s.
you're
That
dating yourself here. Holy
Oh,
smokes.
dude, I've given up. Look at me. I look like hell. Okay, like it is what it is, right? Who's hiding who? This might be the same hoodie I wore this weekend. Like whatever. All right, I'm a mortgage agent. It is what it is. So,
Yeah.
Scott, you get to a point you just give up. You're like
Yeah, I
whatever.
get it. I get it.
I remember one time I put up on social media. I'm like, man, it's been so busy. I don't know when the last time was I brushed my teeth. I keep falling asleep on the sofa. It's so busy. But yeah, it's so the Gen X group. I know we're always like, well, you know what, millennials and Gen Z work harder. Like I know we busted our hump, right? We went through
Hmm.
everything. We didn't have a. But here's the problem: we went through tough times, but we didn't go through tough times where the income to price of housing ratio
Yeah.
was off the freaking
I hear
charts.
it all
Like,
the time.
yeah, so
People
it's
go, "Oh,
not
I bought my
fair.
house for $20,000, but we were making a lot less." Yeah, how much were you making in a year when you bought your house for 20,000? I was only making $7,000 a year.
Yeah.
Really? Really? Wow, that's
And
cute.
even
That's
if
really
rates are
cute. Interest was
19%,
20%. Yeah,
yeah,
you could pay it off in 2 years.
exactly.
Oh my
We're not
gosh.
talking the same thing. We're
No,
not talking the same language. So I think it's
but they had it hard. We had it hard. It's just different hearts. Be
yes.
compassionate. There's different hearts. Don't get me started on like on whatever gen's happening right now. That's totally different. I got to go on for hours about them, but
Yeah.
oh
Well, I
man,
think like I mean, I got Brian on my team, right?
yeah.
Brian's he's a millennial. Right? I know he's Gen Z. He's Gen
Gen
Z, right?
Z, yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
millennial.
I love this, and I can make fun of him because who cares? He's on my team and it's my podcast, so whatever. But I sometimes I'll take him. He's job shadows with me, like in person, and
Yeah, yeah.
we joke. I'm like, "It's take your kid to work day, man." He's seriously the same age as my son, right?
Oh
And
God.
he hustles, he works hard, but
Yeah.
like let's call it what it is. He hustles and works hard, but he's realizing, holy, this is not easy, and my friends can't afford anything yet, right? He's slowly discovering this because the baby boomers are staying working longer. The
Yeah.
Gen Zs like me are pissed off at the world, right? And
And they
whatever's
don't think
left,
they can afford to downsize, so they're staying in that house.
right, exactly. Or we just came off a time where everybody was buying real estate.
Yeah.
Well, the millennials and Gen Zs weren't. It was baby boomers and Gen X. So not only do we have one house, we might have five. Like
Hmm.
we're hoarding it, right? So anyway, this has gone down a really interesting
Yeah.
road. But it brings it all into perspective.
Yeah.
This is the reality, right? So when we're talking about right sizing as a Gen X, I'm now an empty nester. Like, hey, like when do we start to liquidate things, and when do we start to now
Hmm.
transition that wealth down to the kids?
Hmm.
Because I can tell you right now, my kids right now can't afford a home. Not gonna
Yeah. Of
happen.
course not.
Not gonna
Of
happen.
course not.
Right.
No.
So, and it's gonna be tougher for your kids too, because your kids are young. Like, can you
Yep.
imagine? Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna
I
be
have to.
tough.
I have to try to
So
build an empire,
yeah,
and I don't think for me at least, I don't plan on doing it through residential real estate.
yeah,
I'm a real estate agent who isn't going to do it through residential real estate.
yeah.
I
So
will
you're
help
doing
people
more and
do
more
it. It's just
commercial,
not
eh?
right for what I want to do in life. We talked about enjoying our money. I understand the idea of saving and saving, saving and enjoying it later. I want to start enjoying it more now. Now that I'm a new dad, by the way. So daughter of two girls, I'm a
Yep.
girl dad.
Yeah. Congratulations.
And
Yeah, and you got two girls,
I
eh?
want, I know. So I have a lot of bathrooms to save up for, right? I'm trying to plan these things.
It's
My
a
wife and I, we
lot of
kind of have our
plumbing
forever
bills,
home.
buddy. I'm just saying, it's a lot of plumbing bills. Get ready.
Right? Yeah, my next hot water heater is gonna be tankless for sure, commercial size, industrial.
That's
Um,
right.
but
Uh,
so people are gonna be like, oh my god, a real estate agent that doesn't believe in residential real estate. No, no, I believe in it. It's just not right for me.
yeah,
One, I believe in commercial real estate, and I'll talk more, maybe I'll talk more about that. But I believe in enjoying some of the wealth now, and the way I'm going to enjoy it is investing. Whether it's investing in my kids' future now, and work my butt off, you continue to work my butt off, and do whatever I want. But also, like, this is our forever home. It's a 1960s house, but we love the neighborhoods on a cul-de-sac, and all the neighbors know each other. All the kids are the same age, and I can't buy that. We have a huge backyard, so there's things I want to do in this home now to make it feel even more like home. I'd rather do that now and have that weight off my shoulders than just keep like grinding and grinding, grinding and suffering through the next 12, 15 years. I'd rather enjoy some of it. But I believe in commercial real estate because
so tell me
tenants
more about
suck.
that, because commercial real estate, not everybody gets it, and it's a
Oh man,
different beast. So tell me more about what you're talking about
it's
when you get
such a
me more into
better
commercial.
beast. Such
Tell
a
me about it.
better. So like I do a lot of stuff for landlords. Like I list stuff for lease all the time. I help tenants all the time too, because a lot of times our downsizers end up renting. You know, if
Yeah,
you can sell your house for $800,000, you can do pretty good. You can live a long time, and also that's making money and stuff. You can do a lot with that. And I hear so many horror stories of professional tenants. Like it's not. We used to talk about it a lot a couple of years ago. It's rampant. There's nothing you can do if a tenant stops paying.
not in Ontario. Nope.
Nothing. Literally nothing. I was trying to sell a house where a tenant wouldn't move. Tenant had to pay rent in a year. In a year. It took, at 6 months, they were able to get a landlord and tenant board hearing. It was pushed out another 6 months. And then, last month when they had that meeting, they missed a date by like a day. They had to give 14 days notice of submitting to the Landlord and Tenant Act or Landlord and Tenant Board. And it was 13, not 14 days they submitted it because of some Canada Post BS. And they threw it away. They had to start over. Threw it away. It's been a year. And this person had like utilities included, so the landlord's still paying utilities on top of it.
Scott, you know what?
I'm afraid. I'm absolutely afraid. It's bankrupting this person.
It worries me. It worries me. And listen, we don't do a lot of residential investors anymore. They have
Yeah.
picked up their toys and gone home, or they're chasing around their tenants trying to get money.
Yeah, the cash flow isn't there. I mean, you had
Not the cash flow, the risk.
yeah, the risk.
I tell
Risk.
investors, I'm like, you want to get into this? Cool. Can
Mhm.
you afford your home, your investor property, if they don't pay rent for a year? Can you do it?
Yeah.
If the answer is no,
Yeah, and destroying the home
maybe
because we're
not.
pretty sure too the house has now been abandoned and destroyed too, by the way. So fingers crossed that maybe the house is destroyed and insurance can just take it over, and just anyway. It's
Yeah.
it's in their cans, and I feel for them so much every day because it's a family that owns it. They gave this person a chance, a break, and they got burned. Whereas commercial, it's a lot more recourse. A lot more of the expenses are put on the tenant. TMI, taxes, maintenance, insurance, additional rent, property tax. Put it right back onto them. It's just a cash cow. Oh, I'm out of focus. There we go.
And what are you finding with so when we talk about residential real estate, people not paying or trying to get people out or making stuff cash flow, how does commercial compare?
It's a bigger investment, and you're looking at a long term. If you're the kind of person who wants to like hodl, know that expression. It comes from like the crypto world. Hold
No.
on for dear life.
Oh.
I'm the kind of person who does. I don't do day trading. People talk about the market and stuff. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't day trade.
Yeah.
It's up and down. I don't day trade. I like my dividend stocks. I hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
I'll look at it when I'm 65. You know. But
Yeah.
commercial is a long term cow. But the only time I might go into residential, and I'm talking might, is in land development. And you had a guest on not too long. Was it Renee?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yep. Renee
yeah.
Massey. Yep.
Looking at, I do listen to your podcast.
Oh, you know what? I was like, I'm trying to think, who the hell is he talking about? I'm like,
Yeah,
someone
Renee up
listens
in
to this
Kingston.
podcast. This is
He's up in
amazing.
Kingston.
I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
Kingston. Yeah, I do. He's up in Kingston.
Yeah, he is. Yes.
I
Yeah.
never
Great
met him.
guy.
Sounds like a great dude.
Great guy.
But he nailed it. Talk about it as land development. In Kitchener, you can put up to a fourplex on a house.
Yes. Isn't, hold
And
on, Ontario, isn't Ontario up to 3 or
Yeah, maybe
4?
it's Ontario. I just focus on
Yeah,
like
but that's
Kitchener.
okay. Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
up
Yep.
to 4. So throw an ADU, an auxiliary dwelling unit, granny flat, whatever you want to call it. Make it a duplex. Like my backyard's huge. That's also my plan, maybe for my daughter someday. Give her own space, throw an ADU in the backyard for $200,000.
Throw an ADU back there and put all the 3 women back there just so you can have some quiet.
Oh my
Or it can be your
god.
place.
I get why people like dads have like hang out in garages, man.
Yep.
I get
Hey,
it.
I got one lady left. It's my wife. So if you want to come over and hang out in my garage, it's like super
Dude,
quiet. Just me and the dogs and you. We're all good, bud.
we can do an after hours version of this where we like really deep dive some stuff and both get fired up and we drink scotch the whole time. It'd be
That's
great.
right. That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like, I love that you're talking about the commercial part. Like, is it tough to get into it? Is it tough to learn it? Like,
Yeah.
what kind of clients are you bringing to commercial opportunities?
So most, unless they're leasing, it's kind of serial entrepreneurs, people who are looking to think about land development, or they're looking at commercial as an investment. So maybe they also buy the business,
Right.
looking at
Right.
that piece. And again, it's a small piece of my puzzle, but I am enjoying it more.
Good.
It's a different ball game. It's more 9 to 5 and stuff, and it's analytical. Again, my heart, Stephen, is still with residential. We're kind of technically. Like, I don't want people to think like 95% of my business comes from helping people buy homes, and I love it.
100%.
I
Absolutely. Yep.
love it. I
Yep.
help. That's why we call ourselves Navigate Realty. I help people navigate either the decision to sell, to buy, and what's right. That's why we called it Navigate.
I think though too, you can offer, but on that note, okay, so here's what we're doing in our world, and especially with the financial collective and our team. So,
Mm,
um, gone are the days of just a broker kind of whipping a deal together, closing it, slapping you on the ass, say, hey, see you in 5 years. Okay. Days are gone.
and
Okay.
it is 5 years.
If,
People buy and sell every 5 years, as you and I both know.
yeah. And so we've gone the route of planning and strategy. And listen, I've been around as long as I look, okay? Like, I mean, I've been around, so I understand strategies and planning for clients. I get that. And that's where we really provide our value. And then we've got Brian. Brian's kind of getting into the commercial game, right?
Hmm.
He's working some commercial deals, he's doing his thing. So kind of like you, I think clients kind of look at people now, A, what's the value I can get, right? B, what is the person like? That's where social media comes in. And I think C, do I have an all around experience where I don't have to go to 15 people, right? And I think gone are the days of I'm kind of a one trick pony. Someone comes to me like, I want to buy a commercial property. Great, I'll talk to Brian, right? Or,
Mm,
I've got 3 rentals and I'm in I have tax issues. We got tax strategies for that, man. We can
hmm.
fix that, right? So I don't know. Do you see that in your business? Because that's what you guys are doing it, right? Do you see that
Hmm.
in your business where you're competing against one trick ponies and you're kind of winning the battle a little bit? What are you seeing in your
Like
business?
one trick ponies. I'm dealing with other agents, kind of that way.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
exactly.
definitely.
Yeah,
There's like I think the last time I read the stat was like 70 or 80,000 real estate agents in Ontario and like 60,000 in the GTA.
yeah.
You know how many of those got their license within the last like 2 years? Or how many? It was something like I think it was Wes Watson told me once with that formerly Davenport mentioned it was something like 90% agents do one or less deals a year. So what I'm getting at is the level of junior agents, because I don't like saying new, I don't like saying experience, just junior.
Yeah,
Because someone could be an agent for 10 years and I would still consider them junior because maybe they only do one deal a year.
yeah.
I know
There's a
agents
lot of that.
that don't do deals in a year and they just keep their license up because it just takes one pony, it takes one golden goose.
Yeah.
Or sorry, golden nugget, not a golden goose. Golden goose is a good client. Golden nugget is a one-time client.
We have that in mortgages too, though. Like there's a Facebook newbie mortgage special or mortgage broker group on Facebook, and they're gonna kick me out, but whatever, I don't care. But we see these comments about, hey, I just started, I can't get any deals. Like, what do you guys like? There, some are genuine questions, but then some of them it's like, what were you expecting? What
Yeah,
were you
work,
thinking? Right?
work.
Yeah, and it's like, one person's like, I've asked all my family and friends and nobody will give me a deal. I'm like, yeah, because if you were my family or friend, I'd be like, no, I'm not giving you anything because you're
It's
brand new,
junior.
like junior, as you say, right? But
Yeah,
it's like, no, you actually gotta kind of you got to work at your craft. It's a business.
you need to
You
be an
just have to
expert in
do
what you're
mortgages.
doing.
Yeah, yeah, and I think But you can be average at getting mortgages done. If you are an elite marketer, you'll
Hmm.
be fine. I'm sure you see
Right?
that too. You can be a pretty good realtor, but if you can market and deliver a service, right? You don't have to be good
Yeah.
at it. You just got to make sure you know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do
A
you think?
unique value proposition. Like Steven,
Exactly.
I introduce you like the gospel. Like I take your stuff very seriously. You actually like know your stuff. A lot of trust me, Steve, I get a phone call like every other day from mortgage agents that want to take me out for a beer or take me out golfing. Okay? Like every other day.
Yeah.
But I don't see them giving me anything with content, with telling me something I don't already know. They post about Bank of Canada day of.
That's
Like who didn't know there was going to be a 25 basis point drop a month leading into it? Like, come on. Look
oh,
at the numbers.
it's crazy you say that. We talk about that all the time.
Fixed rates coming down. Like, duh. Duh. They're going to come down. Look at bond
But
yields.
why? What's the story? Right? Tell me more. Like, give me some value as to
Yeah.
why this is happening. Yeah,
Give me some
totally.
talking points. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a negotiator. I negotiate and I analyze deals. That's when it comes to mortgage stuff. Talk to Steven. He has never led me wrong. Everyone should know Steven does my mortgage.
Yeah.
I'm not just blowing smoke, dude. You you handle my financials.
And I really appreciate that. Like
Yeah.
it's so, but that, and I think that's the business side of it. That's the, you know the product, you know how to get it done, you know how to market it, right? I mean, listen, when you send me your clients, it's a thing where they know, like, boom, they're in, and I got them wrapped in. This is what we're
Yeah.
doing. Now you're in my sphere.
Hmm.
Scott's part of that, right?
Hmm.
And this is how this world's gonna roll, right? So, no, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you. It's
Of
it's
course,
it's
buddy.
nice to hear once in a while. That's good. Thank you.
Well, no, this is. I'm not just here to pat you on the back here, but like there's some financing things I kind of want to do, and had I gone the route I was kind of leaning towards, you'd make a little more money, but you're kind of steering me away from it. You're saying no, just hold tight for a sec. You know, like to me that told me a lot. There's a jeweler I really like in Elmira, and same kind of thing where I was buying my wife's engagement ring. And I go in and I'm looking at rings and I go, actually, she was with me. And we go, we like this one. We like this one right here. And the gal comes out and she looks at it. She says, okay, well, I'm gonna call over the owner and stuff because he's the real jeweler. And he says, and I know him. He goes, Scott, is this an engagement ring? And I look at my wife and say, yeah, it's gonna be an engagement ring. And he goes, I'm not selling it. No. I said, why? Like we like the price, we like the look of it, love it. No. Why? Can you elaborate? And he shows me like these two little claws. This is meant to be worn on occasions. If she wears this every day, she's gonna lose it in 5 years. I'm gonna be selling you a new ring.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
no, that just told me like he was honest,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
He had and we found something else there, So anyway, it's just when people are honest with me, I don't
Scott,
know.
I think I
I like
think
that a
that's
lot
such
more.
it's such a lost art. And listen, you
Mm.
can be honest. You can be honest to a fault,
Yeah,
right?
nice
But
guys finish last a lot,
I don't. You know what? I gotta sleep at night, man. I gotta
right?
sleep at night.
You
I
had
would
Jonathan
rather.
Pooley on there. I was listening to that podcast last night. And he put it
Yeah.
so nicely. I just want to do good in the world.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And I think there's something to be said for being human. And
Yeah.
I think as you get more experience and you see stuff happen, and you see it in your world with realtors, right? I see it in my world with mortgage brokers, and I think you got to be able to sleep at night. I'd rather lose a deal because I didn't sacrifice my integrity
Right.
than do a deal that I got to whip through and make stuff up. Like, it's just,
I
I
drive a
don't
lot
know.
nicer car if I did. I'm sure you've heard this before. Other agents buying listings. I'm not bashing other
Yeah.
agents. Most agents are really good,
Hmm.
but buying listings where I tell someone, listen, your home is worth this, and they say, well, this other agent says it's worth this, so I'm going to sign with them.
Yeah.
Like, what does that change? I said it's worth this. Here's my facts. They're telling you it's worth more, so you're going to sign with them. That
Yeah.
it's a logical fallacy. And then it sells for exactly what I told him it would. And I get to do it. And I told you so. A kind of told you so. And the other guy got paid. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I have a
There-
situation. I got a couple
yeah.
of situations I was dealing with there, and it's like I told them, like I said, like, I've been around, man. I know the answer to the questions, and well, this guy told me this. I'm like, go. I'm fine. Go.
Go.
Right. And then we later find out I was right, and that's
Mm.
okay,
Yeah.
right? I got no ill will. I listen. I'm like that too, right? If I don't hear the
Mhm.
answer I want to hear, I'll go check something else. If I'm stubborn, that's all good.
Yeah.
Um,
You talked about for a moment like realness, being real with people. And a long time ago, back before my real estate days, I worked for a smaller family-run business. Just I was doing business and things like that. I've always been in sales, Stephen.
yeah,
And I'll talk maybe a little bit in a bit why I got into real estate. But
yeah, I do want to hear that.
it was a small family business, and I got so every month I got to go to the Center for Family Business, which is a local it's a local meeting of like business owners in Kitchener-Waterloo. It's
Hmm.
awesome, by the way. And I'm talking. There's some heavy hitters in from KW that are there, like big name companies you would recognize. And it's only for people who are part of family run businesses because they talk about the dynamics of working in a family run business.
It's different.
It's totally different, and it's kind of a support group. And they bring in speakers. And the one time they brought this one guy in, and I have his book, and I can't remember his name. Maybe you can look it up or something. But he he gives a designation
Hmm.
at the end of his talks, and also he has a book and stuff, and it's called RHB. You are now a real human being. And he's like, you can put that at the end of your signature. I know people put like, LLB or have an MA. I'm an RHB. What's that? I'm a real human being.
Yeah.
It's about being that person when they go, you Steven, he's great. You Stephanie, she's amazing.
Hmm.
You are that person.
Yeah. Yeah. And it means something. I don't know. It
Yeah.
means more. Does it mean more? I think maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel good
Yeah.
with what I do. I
Yeah.
drive an okay car. You know, I have an okay house. 1960s. I haven't put the trim up. This is my office. I haven't put the trim up yet.
Are you in your
Okay.
basement?
No, I'm in my 1960s. In 1970, they did an addition on the house, a really small one. It's kind of
Yeah.
like a mudroom office.
Yeah.
And I completely demolished it and redid it, like down to the studs, and it's not even studs, they were timbers.
Yeah. I
Timber.
saw your basement when you first bought that house.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah.
I'm a little bit disappointed.
Bavarian.
Yeah. Did you actually did you
I haven't
renovate it?
touched it yet. Haven't touched it, but the
I
back
don't
room I
think you
have.
should. No, you know what? I don't think you should.
Parquet
I think
floor.
that's like a
I kept the
theme
table.
room. You could have parties down there if you want
Yeah,
to
I kept the
relive
table.
the 70s.
It had a
Wood
parquet
panel.
table and on a parquet floor.
I don't I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah.
I think I'd be disappointed. But anyway, do what you got to do. But whatever.
Hmm.
It is what it
Yeah.
is. I think family run business and Scott, tell me what you think. If you see this, I mean, is the family run business just kind of dying off? Because you could be a family run business and be kind of middle class, which we know that that's kind of going up in
Hmm.
smoke real fast. What do you see? Do you see the family run business kind of going the way of the dodo? Like, what do you see out
A
there?
little bit. A little bit. Part of it is because of so many people having to like hustle and create businesses. And I'm talking about ignore the big empires of businesses. I'm talking about the small stuff.
Yeah.
It's everyone's trying to make money. I'm a real estate agent. I'm just starting kind of on the side a moving company.
Hmm.
That's kind of vertical integration because we want to stop handing away business. I might as well make my own moving company. But
Yeah.
I now have two companies, right? Again, everyone listening, 99% of my business comes from real estate. Okay, I'm not a mover,
Yeah.
but I will move you, right? Um,
For all your moving needs, call Scott Shea.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, and so there was one thing that someone said to me once, and I haven't really thought about it until now. Was like the first generation builds the company, the second generation enjoys it, and the third generation loses it. Kind of.
Good way to put
It's
it.
it,
Yep.
it's kind of morbid.
Yep.
It's kind of morbid, but it's also it
But
also
it's
goes it
true.
also goes to the one proverb like hard times make hard people make good times make soft people make hard times.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's also generational. So
Yeah.
because of the way the economy's been and stuff,
Hmm.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, is this you can be middle class and have a pretty good business
Yeah.
back in the day. Now, like unless you're a computer guy or whatever, it's not easy. Like it's just not easy, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah,
And people have been doing huge things. And like a close friend of mine, and maybe she'll be listening to this podcast. I'll be sharing it with everybody. Is her husband has a very successful business, and he's in he sells something that's in a lot of stores, and I'm helping them kind of start navigating that decision. Do we stay in this home and renovate it, or do we buy something else, or do we buy something with mom and she can live with us and maybe do an ADU? Like I'm helping them figure out what's right. And he runs this massive company, and again, just a very modest life they live.
yeah.
It's not. Not everyone's living in mansions.
And I don't think you need, but again, I think we've come off that time where everyone could afford a mansion.
Yeah.
And listen, I look where we live. So we live in Heritage Park. I've been told it's not Stanley Park, it's Heritage Park. Fair enough, right? But whatever. But we don't live in anything that's
Mhm.
like epic ginormous. I drive a Hyundai, like the
Yeah.
six cylinder, so I
I
know
do
I'm
like
living.
it. I did
Yeah,
ask you about it.
thank you. Love
I
it.
like I
Gotta
like the
get six
leather
cylinder.
tufting. I like the leather detail on the headrest on your
Yeah, you
car.
know what? From what I understand, it's as long as you're a six-cylinder Hyundai, you're fine. I love that car. It's actually our
Hmm.
second one. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. It's like a they did a really good job with it for sure. So, but that's the thing. Like, I mean, I got that. We got a Rav, right? Like, we're not rolling in a Tesla. We're not rolling
Hmm.
in a Beamer. Like, we're just not
I want a
there,
Tesla
right?
bad.
No, and I think too, like is it not the business mentality that maybe you don't kind of blow your mind out with all these expensive toys and
Yeah.
humongous house and actually reinvest it in the business? Like, is that art gone? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's a
It,
delicate balance between what I said earlier about enjoying it,
mm,
but enjoying it in a way that invests.
yeah,
Right? A car is not an investment.
no,
An electric vehicle,
no,
maybe, because I hate filling my car up with gas. I want an electric vehicle just so I don't have to go to the gas station.
no
Not about
interest,
the
man.
range, not about the price. I hate going to the gas station. I want to wake up every morning with a full tank of gas and I can floor it.
Okay, so funny story. So again, I'm Gen Z, or sorry, Gen X. Okay, so I went through the
You're great for
power
Gen Z.
outage in August 2002. Okay, I
Okay.
was joking about this with our kids, and they're like, "Why do you constantly fill up your tank? You never let it go to empty. You're always stopping at a quarter tank, half tank." I'm like, guys, I lived through the power outage of August 2002. People
Yeah.
were leaving their cars for dead in the middle of the highway because they thought they had enough gas. We just can't. Like, the trauma is real. We
Yeah.
never. So when I hear an electric car, I'm like, oh man, I gotta sit and wait for what if the charger's
Yeah, I get
broken?
it. I
What if
get
it
it. I get it. You
it's
can always grab a
trauma.
jerry can.
Trauma. Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
Yeah,
I
if your
don't hear
car
CAA
for,
saying we're gonna come and give you an electricity boost,
for
right?
those listening, if your car ever breaks down, there's always two people you can call. You can call your mortgage agent or your real estate agent. They'll come with a jerry can.
It's true. No
We
shame. No
will.
shame.
We will. My job is to
Oh,
connect and help people. Of course, I'm going to come to the side of the road.
so you're helping them move, you're helping with all the other stuff, and we have a gas refilling service. Scott, you guys have made it, man.
There
Now
we
you know
go.
you've made it. Okay, tell me how the moving thing's going. How is that going? Because that's got to be a lot of work for you.
Yeah, so it's still really small. Like,
Mhm.
because again, until recently, we have been giving it away. I'm talking like in the last couple months, we've done one here, one here, one here. We brought on a business partner, so we've just kind of done the whole business registration thing, and we're actually it was this week we were quoting something and we got it, and this isn't our first time moving a senior, and there was just lots of miscommunication. I would like to think I was very straightforward. Send me pictures of the items you want moved because she didn't want a full unit move. She just wanted some bulky items. She
Okay.
sent me 5 images. I said, okay, based on those 5 things you sent, it's this price. And then next day she started talking about other stuff. And I said, well, I'm just going to come by and just kind of make sure we're all on the same page. And there was like a lot more things. And I just said, listen, and I said it very politely. I sent her a message after. I'm just like, listen, after reflecting, it's just like, we can't feel good about this moving forward. I'm not trying to bait and switch you. You're welcome to keep, you still have lots of time to find someone else. But I'm just telling you, we can't feel good with the value and we can't feel good about this exchange.
What did
We
she
give you a
say?
price based on these 5 items, and now it's like 12. You basically want us to move your entire unit.
Yeah.
So,
And what did she say? What was her response?
like a polite f off.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, like
Okay. But Scott, listen,
I'm nice about it. There's no problem.
I don't listen.
It's a very small line item on my income tax. So again,
Yeah, but I wouldn't even. I mean, I don't know how you felt about that. I mean, it is what it is.
yeah,
She sent what she sent. Now
yeah,
it's more. I'm like you. Listen, it is what it is. I know
yeah,
what you're looking for. Can't offer it. I'll
yeah.
walk away. What's wrong with that? Instead of taking the stress and holding it, saying, "Oh my God, I'm going to disappoint her," stuff like that.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that. I think lost art, man. Lost art is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've had that. Listen, I've had that with clients. Okay, come to me and like the deal is just insane. Like what they're looking for. I use this line: what you want and what I could offer you are two. We're not on the same page,
Yeah.
right? Not a bad thing. Let me see if I can find you somebody. Doesn't happen often. It's happened a few times. Doesn't happen often. But when we've got a complete disconnect, I gotta sleep, man. I'm gonna
Yeah.
find you someone else that can maybe help you or do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're
An
human, man.
HIJK lender, you know?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
So, oh man, yeah, this is business. It's business, right? And how
Mhm.
do you enjoy working on a team? I mean, there's only two
It's
of you,
awesome.
right? But you okay? Tell me more about this.
I like it because like my business is still my business. My black book of contacts, a lot of my business comes from friends and family, and a lot of times clients become friends,
Right.
because I care, right? We become friends. I get to know you, get to know your birthdays and stuff, and we go out for dinners and things like become friends.
Yep.
And it's and so I my business partner, he's from Kitchener but had moved away for school and stuff, and then I come back. And so when he came back, he didn't know anyone. Whereas me, I've been here forever. So it's very easy. It's very easy for me to work my network, where he had to go out and get business.
And Jason's a good guy. Jason's a
Yeah,
super
Jason's
good
great.
guy, right?
Jason's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, good dad too.
Yeah.
He's awesome at Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He'll kick your ass.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I
like, and he's
saw
an
that.
author. And anyway, he's a cool dude. I won't gas
Yeah.
him up too much because
Yeah.
he's my business partner. But maybe we'll both come on sometime.
That's right. That's
Um,
right.
but I've already lost my train of thought. Where were we going? Oh, it's
Oh,
great because we
yeah.
can we
Yeah.
can we can share an identity. Because instead of me showing I'm Scott Shea, Shea Home Realty on Instagram, which I still have Shea Home Realty
Yeah.
if you like me. Um, Instead of me showing that value and stuff and spending money on ads and things like that, and him doing the same thing, why don't we just make the same thing? And we can really hit home. We're willing to cover anything someone wants covered because like cost of moves, you have to pay for that up front normally. Maybe you don't have that money. Maybe you're relying on the sale of your home to pay for everything. Well, I'll pay for it. I'll cover it. I'll do it and just include it in the commission. That
Nothing
way
wrong with
you never
that.
see that money. It comes out at the end after the sale. If you want your house painted and clearly it makes sense that needs to get done, we'll do it. We'll pay for it. We'll do it. I'll hire someone.
And how was it built? How was it building the brand? I always talk about brand and how important it is. And you guys went through a bit of a brand creation,
Yeah.
right? How was that experience? Like, tell me about how you manage your brand, what it means. Tell me a little bit about that whole
We're
process.
still we're still use the word navigate realty. We're still navigating it, but basically our biggest thing is we want to help people make the right choice.
Mm,
Whether that means telling people to stay. Like I was talking to someone last night. What was last night? And basically it's, does she need to sell? Well, my thing is you don't need to. You can stay put. Or there's other options. You can rent, you can buy, you can sell, you can move here, here, here. But what I've told her is, why don't we just go look at some stuff? Because her issue was she moved all the way out to Tavistock on a knee jerk reaction. She had bought a new build
yeah.
and she's out there and she's been out there for 5 years. She loves the house, but she realized there's nothing in Tavistock. I feel alone, was what she said to me. I want to
Oh,
come back to Kitchener. But the thing is, she's now kind of priced out, right? Because Kitchener houses went up not as fast as,
hard to come back.
right? It's hard to come back. It's like when people move out east. When you move out there, you can't afford to come back.
Yeah, I'm
Or you have
originally
to
a Toronto
adjust
boy.
your standards.
I
Yeah,
can't go
yeah,
back to Toronto. There's no way.
yeah.
Right?
You can't adjust your standards. And basically, like she can't come back. She just needs to adjust her standards. But my thing is to her, she's starting to get older. I don't know how old she is exactly because we're on the phone, but she's looking for senior services and she talked about being a senior. But
Mhm.
she was a smart cat. She was lively and stuff. She said I can handle a few stairs, things like that. And I said, well, there you go. Because you wanted a bungalow. Can you handle a back split? You handle 3 or 4 stairs. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Because a back split is a heck of a lot cheaper than a bungalow, right? Because we talked about earlier, bungalows. Everyone wants, I want a little wartime bungalow. Back split, side split, 2-story, way down here.
Bungalows are expensive anyway, so
Right.
yeah, why not look for something like
But
that
at the
where
very least, my conversation with her is, why don't we just go look at some stuff so that way for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, forever, you can think about it. Because you never want to be in a situation where you're moving out of necessity and making an uninformed decision. We
oh,
want to help you.
but what you're saying is what I was saying earlier. It's like there's planning involved.
Yeah.
you're right. Maybe it's not the right time. And I've had that question with, or that conversation with clients where it's like, yeah, sometimes let's wait, let me monitor it for you, right? That's what
Yeah,
you're probably doing with her, right?
yeah,
She's adding on to your list and we're looking at certain houses.
yeah,
Just wait, right? Let's
yeah.
negotiate from a strength of, or from a strength of power, but not really like that.
Yeah,
But
like I genuinely want her to stay in her home. There's another gal actually lives in my neighborhood, and she lives in her mother's home and stuff. She has issues and stuff, and she's holding on for dear life to stay in the house, and I want her to. I think it's better for her if she doesn't because of some health reasons. But she's autonomous. She can do what she wants, right? I can have my opinions, but she knows at the end of the day what's best for her. I
think,
I have another gal where she has this house. She's lived in there since the 1980s. She was original builder. She built the home,
wow,
and and she has a lot of money saved up and stuff, and she could basically buy and sell and buy and basically kind of work out the same. I told her about the life lease communities. Wasn't really for her. We haven't seen any yet, but I told her we should go look at some. But she's like, well, I'm kind of too young to go into a nursing home, like or assisted living or a retirement home, things like that. And and she made the comment that like my grandkids always give me a hard time. I'd love to bake and have this tiny little kitchen. Love it. And I kind of just I put a bug into her ear and I said, listen, whenever you want to go look at this, why don't you? We could always sell. I mean, I hope you want to stay put. I always put that like I'm not trying to tell you to sell, but here, I help people navigate this idea. Here's another idea maybe you haven't considered was she's probably 68, 72, definitely in her 70s. I would say she's definitely in her 70s. Because again, I don't really want to ask people, how old are you, right?
okay.
It's how do you feel in the home? People live in their house when they're 95. Um, and why don't you go, you could sell and you could rent something, but get your dream kitchen. Enjoy it. Get your dream kitchen for the next couple of years until you're ready to do that next step. And then if anything were to ever happen, it's an easier transition. Or even if nothing were to happen and it's still an easier transition. Go get that dream kitchen. Don't go from you've never had that dream kitchen, now you're in a retirement home or a 55 plus community. Go enjoy it. Go rent a penthouse. You own your house outright. It's gonna sell for $800,000. What's a year getting the best house in KW? Do it. Enjoy it, girl. Do it.
It's all true, so true. Like what we use, it's how do I describe it? You don't have to just knee jerk react like you
Yeah.
said, right? We can plan this out. We can
Plan
do
the work, work the
sell it
plan.
out. Go try this. Like I
Yeah.
mean, it's yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can play, but again, it's sometimes you talk to a realtor. Not all. I don't. The ones I work with. I mean, we have our little club, right? Premier partner, whatever. And
Yeah.
no one in that group would ever be like, see that scenario and be like, sell, sell, sell. Let's
Yeah.
sell. Let's do it, right? No, like let's talk. Okay, what do you want? Like
Yeah.
you said, how do you want to feel, right? There's
Yeah.
something to be said for that. I
Yeah.
get that. I had a realtor one time. It was not the realtor's fault at all. They bought a house. The clients bought a house. Okay, everything checked out, no problem. A week later, they called the same realtor and they're like, "We've just made a mistake. We need out. We got to get rid of this place. It's us." They didn't blame the realtor, right?
Hmm.
They didn't feel good. They thought they felt good. They were in there. Again, it was not the realtor's issue at all. Just something
Yeah. Something
switched.
clicked. Fight or
Yeah,
flight.
and they're like, "Get us the hell out of here. It's just not our home." And she's
Mhm.
and the realtor was really good about it. She's like, I can take a cut in commission. Like I'm sorry. Like I'll do it at
Mhm.
cost. And they're like, "No, it's not your fault. We just don't feel good. That's all."
Yeah. Wow.
Right? It was just unfortunate. It was just a crazy situation. But you're
Were they
right. When you
first time
start
home
to
buyers?
feel, yeah, you got to feel good about
Yeah.
what you're buying.
Was it
It's
their
your
first
house,
home
man.
though, or no? Was it their first home?
Second, third home.
Third. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so they were
I could see it happening. I've never had that happen with
45,
like a
50
second or
in that
third, but
range. So
I could see it happen with the first time.
yeah,
With first time home buyers, I always say like we're first week, we're just gonna go look at a couple of houses just so you can get a confidence in walking through someone else's house. They always walk gently. I tell people, sit down on the couch. This is gonna be your living room. Does this feel like home? Does this feel good? You know, you get an experience. You
it's
get
true.
experienced at it.
Well, it seems like buying with a car. I just dealt with this with my daughter. Just to give you a glimpse into your future. Our daughter had to go buy a car. Okay.
Yeah.
But we found one. But she would get in the car, and you got to remember, when you're test driving a car, you don't test drive it for like weeks and weeks, see if you really have a
Yeah.
feel and to look for it. Same thing for a house. You visit it 3 or 4 times, and boom, here's
Yeah.
your investment. That's where you're living for the next X number of years, and see you later. So it's tough. So when you're having people do that, yeah, I get it. That makes a little bit of sense, right?
Well, that's what I
How
tell
does it
people.
feel?
Don't go looking at, like, I tell buyers, like, if we're gonna go on like a Saturday or Sunday, we're only gonna look at 3 houses,
Mm,
because I'd rather show you three on Saturday, three on Sunday. The reason is because at night when you guys are laying at home, pillow talking, or you're reflecting on what did it feel like in there. You can't remember that. If you saw 6, 7 homes, this is a massive decision. This is, $500,000 or $1 million decision, and what if you kind of forget that feeling you had when you walked in or when you walked out, and you mix it up with a different house.
I didn't think about that, but you're right. You're right.
So same thing
So
with a
true.
car.
Yeah.
If you test drove 8 cars and then you went home and then you decided what car you wanted.
Did you get the right one?
Yeah,
Did you get the right
yeah,
one? Oh man.
yeah.
So okay, so I want to move on to what would a podcast be with me without talking economy. So we are 2025. I know myself, it's been a little bit nutso because these first time home buyers, they're in the wild, man. They're all a bunch of crazy people. What do you think? 2025, what are we gonna see here, man?
Oh God, Steven. This last month has been just like a whirlwind of people politicking.
Oh, so bad. So
Oh
bad.
my God.
It was so bad on Sunday, and now I'm gonna date the podcast. It doesn't really matter, but when the whole Trump thing and the tariff thing dropped, I was doing videos on social. I did a 3-part video series because people don't know. They don't know, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, I don't want to go down the road of, I call him Daddy Trump now, but I don't want to go down that road. But the housing whatever for this year, what are you seeing? What are you feeling for 2025?
On the real estate side of things, I see an opportunity for good, experienced agents to actually do well. And
Mm,
it's going to become a very skill based and relationship based market, because I have agents now picking up the phone,
mm,
building that rapport. I also see a lot of places, and this is what I do with a lot of my first time home buyers, is if you have a tight budget, let's say it's a tight budget, or you have your budget and your expectations don't necessarily align. There's a lot of places on the market, Steve, and they've been on the market for like 3 months. What if they already bought something?
yeah.
Right?
Love it. Yep.
My last like 4 deals have been like 50, 80, 100 under asking. Even with leases, 100, 200. I had someone recently like 350 under the price, and I'm talking it was like a 1,600 to start.
Okay, so can I interrupt you for a sec? Right there.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
this is what I'm talking about. All right. So I know you do your research, you work hard, you're full time, you get the market. Again, I look like I've been around forever, but this is where you said something there. Agents, and the same on the mortgage side. There's no difference. Agents who have the experience, understand the market, are offering that kind of full value, like what you just said, they will be fine this year.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have a good year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But any of those agents you were talking about who do like one deal a decade, like whatever,
Yeah, they're done.
yeah.
Well,
April
there's
1st is when mortgage agents and brokers have to renew their licenses. I think last year we lost 7,300. We have way too many. Like there's just too many, right?
there's
But yeah,
only
so
10 times that amount of agents, realtors.
I think everyone's in for a rude awakening. Whenever your
Yeah.
annual renewal thing for licenses is,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be even worse this year, and I'm
Oh,
okay with it.
definitely. I know it will. So, because last year, maybe a year and a half ago, when every realtor in Ontario, it became mandatory to get into this benefits program. Mandatory.
I
Could not
remember
opt
that.
out.
Yeah.
And the coverage is crap. Like, you don't even get dental. I get
Mm.
all the mental health support I want, all the counseling I want for the most part, but no dental. And I can't opt out. My wife's coverage is way better. I'm under her. It's
Yeah,
way
being a
better.
teacher, yeah, she had a great
But it's
one.
like an extra $800 a year. And if you think about someone who does one deal or no deals in a year, I almost think that's why they did it. Or you know how politics are, and someone at the top did it because someone's uncle's nephew's cousin's former roommate works for that company.
Someone's making money here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like no, don't get me fired up about that too. It's people's pockets are getting greased.
Yeah. Now, did they get rid of that? Is that gone now?
No,
Oh,
no, still like $800. And that's where it
yikes, yikes.
starts. Yeah.
All right, so sorry, 2025 market again. We go off into a
Yeah. Sorry.
different route, but okay. So experienced agents will still be around. They're doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? I mean, we're recording this, so make sure you answer
Yeah, I
correctly.
know I have a
But
character
what do you
here.
think for housing prices and stuff? Uh, or listen, one of the options could be who the hell knows. I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think we've been so spoiled the last 5 years of people going, yeah, the market's going to explode. And it did. Like, it went up and went crazy down and went up a little bit. But I think it's going to go back to like normal growth. Normal. Expect that you lose 1% a year, you gain 2%, you lose 5, you gain 10. Maybe not that big of a jump. You know what I mean? I think we're going to be looking at normal growth. And we're seeing that with the interest rates. A drop recently, very, very small drop, but that whole year of steady drops. My question to you is, what do you think is going to happen in the next one? I think it's going to be a hold. I know it's a little far out, but do you see maybe just a little bit of pause? I think generally over the year it's going to be a decline. But do you think because of a lot of the uncertainty, do you think it's going to be a hold come, is it March?
Well,
April,
yeah.
March.
So irony of ironies. It's March 12th, I think it is. It's in
Yeah,
March,
March. That's right.
and it's 30 days. The 30-day mark of Trump giving us our stay of execution for the for the tariff part is before that.
Yeah,
So
that's going to.
that's going to impact it completely. And I think
Mm-hmm.
as of right now, I think we're in a hold. Right. Let's
Yeah.
see what happens. It takes 18 months for these
You're
things
just
to
saying that because I
mature.
said it first.
Well, yeah. I mean,
You're agreeable. You're a mortgage agent.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Great time to get a mortgage and buy a
Yeah.
house, by the way.
Yeah, buy a house, buy a house.
So,
It's still better than renting.
it is. Um, but I think the first sign of trust, this is where things might get weird because if the tariffs come in, that's an inflationary measure.
Mm-hmm.
Inflation will increase, right? Well, okay, if I'm the Bank of Canada, my only weapon against that is raising interest rates. How am I going to raise interest rates with inflation rising and unemployment rising as well?
Yeah.
You can't have this both ways. You're either going to raise rates to bring down inflation and screw people as they're becoming unemployed because of tariffs, or you're going to drop rates, inflation possibly increases more. Who are we going to save here? Are we going to save inflation or
Mm-hmm.
the people? And this is the I don't know what the hell to do with this one. Who
It's okay.
knows,
The
right? And
government
the
never
bond
looks out for the
market is
people.
where the
They only look
fixed
out for
rates
each
are
other.
coming from. What's that?
Government never looks out for the people. They only look out for each other. Don't get me started on that.
No, and then you throw on top of that because this has to do with it as well. Because as soon as JT announced he was resigning, but he didn't resign, but he said he was
Hmm.
pre-promised to resign, we had an
After giving all
uptick
his
in the
friends a
market.
raise.
Yeah,
After
oh,
giving all his friends a raise.
absolutely.
Oh,
Hey, Jagmeet's getting his pension, baby. We're good. What's wrong with the world, right?
don't
Um,
get me fired up, buddy. We'll do an after
I know.
hours sometime.
So for those of you who don't know,
Seriously,
before
don't get
this podcast,
fired
Scott's
up.
like, "Don't start me on politics."
Yeah, that's why I put it. Don't talk
Here we go.
politics.
Here we go.
You'll get censored real quick.
Oh, by the way, we marked this explicit. So hey, drop it
Oh
if you need
fuck,
to.
good.
It's all good. So this is the thing. Like, if we go down the route of we got a new prime minister, if we get a PC government, which as of right now, I don't think Mark Carney, nice guy, but it's not going to
Yeah,
happen. Okay.
yeah,
We got a PC government. Let's face it, Dofo is going to win.
yeah.
So I've said this before. We're going to have PC federal, a PC provincial, an Alberta PC, also important, and
Yeah.
then Daddy Trump, right? So it's going to be interesting. What will happen? I don't know. Who knows?
I think
Uh,
it'd be a good
I,
thing.
I come back to the point of if you can afford it, if it feels good, if it makes
Yeah,
sense, buy a house is what it is,
yeah.
right?
I know I'm eating to your time here. I
That's good.
2 seconds. Recently had this exact conversation with another first time home buyer. They sat, I know them from an organization I'm involved in, and he said, Scott, I just want to pick your brain with my girlfriend, future, I'm assuming future spouse. So she's part of the conversation too, because she's in school. And he says, I think I'm kind of like 2 or 3 years out from buying a house. I've used those online mortgage calculators. I sent them your way, by the way. I sent them your way, so you're gonna
Thank
be
you.
meeting with them.
I will not cancel the
Um,
podcast. Go ahead. Good job.
and because we had helping them navigate the conversation. It's a good time to buy. I said, well, it's a bad time to rent. And I said, either you need to buy or you need to keep living in mom's basement. Don't
Mhm.
rent because there goes your down payment in a year, right? And if you're 2 or 3 years out, like, so we just a conversation with them. I said, listen, why don't you just get into the market.
Mhm.
Like, you can't afford a house, yeah, but it's just the two of you. Condos are really cheap right now, and it's
Yeah.
still cheaper than renting,
You have your pick of the litter in the condo
right?
market right now.
Yeah. So they're starting to explore that, and I'm not pushing that way. So like, have you considered that? You've said famously is drive before you can buy.
Mhm.
Well, square footage before you can have mow your lawn, I guess. I don't know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Well, and you can even tell them. You can tell them this too. Like we might have a shortage of condos coming because we're coming off a year or two of construction has stopped. They're trying to
mhm.
get rid of their inventory. This is going to catch up to us.
Yep.
Eventually, it's going to catch up. As long as it's not a shoebox condo,
Yeah.
we might have a shortage. Think
But
about
I call
that.
them shoe boxes too. They're just rectangles.
Oh, that market's messed up. Like that, I don't know
400
what they're
square
going to
foot
do.
shoe boxes.
Oh my God, I don't know what they're going to do about that's a Toronto problem.
Gray
Thank
floors with
God.
gray floors.
Oh, I don't know what they're going to do, man. It's not good. It's not good. But anyway, well, we're not going to solve all the world's problems on this call. But all right, Scott.
We can do this again.
That's absolutely for sure.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
wanted to have you on this call for a long time, man.
Whenever.
I'm
We got lots of
telling
things to
you.
talk about. I can talk about my volunteer work.
I
You can talk about your sweatshirt choices.
I told you, right? That's why I wanted
Yeah.
you on here. We
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
carry on a conversation, man, and do not diss John Deere, okay? Don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, that's
Okay.
enough. I had enough of you. All right, Scott, if people really want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you? How do they find you?
A couple different ways you can find me on my personal brand, which is Shea Home Realty on
Yeah.
Instagram. That's SHEA.
SHEA.
Yeah, Shea
Yep.
like the butter, Shea like Shea Stadium.
Yep.
Or the more downsizing focused approach is through Navigate Realty Co. It's on
Nice.
Instagram as well. Navigate Realty will pop up. You'll see this handsome mug and another more tattooed handsome mug
That's right.
in the
Yes.
first picture.
Yeah, buddy got some ink. Good guy. Got some ink though. Yeah, it looks good, man. It looks good.
Yeah,
So
he's had some cool stories.
yeah. All right. Listen, thank you so much. I really
Thanks for
appreciate you
having me.
coming on. Like I said, it was great having you on, and we will absolutely do this again.
For sure.
We'll do a politics update. Oh, man.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Thanks
Folks,
for having me.
you guys know the drill. All right. So like us, love us, follow us, just whatever. And only 5 stars. We don't accept four because who the hell has a 4 star? Make sure you rate us. It helps us a lot. And until next time, talk to you soon.
Bye for now.